Well, we do welcome you to Zeppo's in Pullman, Washington, and it is another U.S. Bank Coaches Show. And with us, of course, is the head coach of Washington State University women's soccer, Todd Shulenberger, as it's been a couple of weeks since we've been here at Zeppo's, but great to be back with you. Trevor was here a couple weeks ago, and now we get back into it as we get ready to go and transition from non-conference play into conference play. First things first, Coach, we'll get into all the details on the field, but how you doing? And good to see you again. It's been a couple of weeks here.
I'm doing good, Steve. Thanks for joining us, coming back, and it's great to be back here at Zeppo's tonight.
I'm assuming Trevor, he treated you okay in my absence as I was up calling volleyball?
Trevor's well known about women's soccer here on the Blues, so he did a great job.
That's fantastic.
Not as good as you, Steve, but he did a good job.
Well, thank you very much. Again, happy to have you with us here from Zeppo's. Again, we're going to get into everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks, and again, transitioning into West Coast Conference play, which includes an exciting thing, and that's our first match in West Coast Conference action, a home match that's going to be taking place on Saturday over at Lower Soccer Field, and we'll get into that. But let's jump right into it, Coach. It's been a couple of weeks and a couple of good results for your team. You made the long trip to Georgia, and you beat Georgia Southern 1-0. You took on a very tough Georgia team, and, of course, we're going to get into this one, that big matchup against Utah State, where it was a 0-0 draw. But just your thoughts on how you played and how you are playing over the last couple of weeks on the pitch.
Well, obviously, it's always tough going east. You know, you lose the time zone and you change things, your habits, everything you do on the road. And Georgia Southern is a good, stubborn team, and we got our goal that we needed in that game to take the lead, and we closed it out. In that Georgia game on Sunday, the score didn't indicate what actually the game was. I mean, it was 2-1 late. We missed a breakaway to make that thing 2-2, and then we missed it. So I'm not going to lose 2-1. If I'm going out losing, regardless of the score. So
Sure.
We went after it there, and then we gave up a couple there. But it was a good trip together, and again, it's not going to hurt you losing to a Georgia team.
Yeah, and I mean, as you looked at this non-conference schedule, the way you put it together, you knew that you had a lot of tough opponents, and there was two things that I think probably went into that as you were scheduling this. One, to try and help yourself RPI-wise, and to try and help your strength of schedule when it comes to the end of the season. But maybe just as importantly, to prepare you for now these next 2 months, which is going to be West Coast Conference play, and to know that you've gone up against not only quality teams, different styles of play, and now you're ready to go out and attack just about anybody that you could face in the West Coast Conference.
It's a different preparation from being in the Pac-12 to WCC. We always said that you didn't want to go into the conference fold, right? So you're right about the RPI, and we had to accomplish that piece. And then you want to make sure your team is ready. You got to learn how to win. You got to learn how to lose. And it's tough, but at the same time, I think they're ready to roll for the next thing ahead of us. And what counts now is this conference play starting Saturday night, and we're ready to get after San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at it, and again, I think as you take a look at these first 9 matches, and tell me certainly if I'm wrong, at 3-3-3, it's certainly something that you wished was a little bit better, but at the same time, you know you could be better, and at the same time, you're I don't want to say satisfied, but at the same time, you look at what you've seen over this previous 9 matches, and you see how close you are to being over the top to get to where you want to be towards the end of the season. Is that correct?
For the first thing in my 10 years here, we've never had this record, and it's not disrespect to the record we're at, but we've never had a non-conference schedule as tight as this schedule is right now, because again, you're battling 2 different conferences now. So you had to a little bit upload the front end and hope that the back end is going to be a little bit different. So that was the piece there we had to get through. As long as the girls' mindset is right, and I believe they are, and that comes from the top with the coaches and our captains that are here can handle that pressure of, we learned a lot, and we're ready for the next step.
When you went into Georgia Southern, just kind of take us through that game and how important it was to get a positive result out of that, and then just the fact that you did get that goal to get out of there with that 1-0 victory.
Yeah, we had a lot of ties this year, and the NCAA doesn't do us any favors by taking away overtime, so that part has hurt us. The reality of the 2 games we tied prior to that game, so it's like tie. And we're doing a great job defensively. The staff is doing an awesome job defensively. They're doing a great job with the goalkeepers. The ball just hasn't gone in the net all the time. But, again, it's not a result that's actually going to hurt us. So as long as we stay on course and stay positive, that ball is going to go that way, we feel like, soon.
I did have somebody ask me this, and I didn't know the answer. And since you just brought it up, I want to ask you, A, do you know the reason why the NCAA took away overtimes? And then, B, do you agree with the fact that the NCAA took away overtimes?
A, I know, and B, I don't want to get fined, so I'm going to keep that between you and I. The refs are already mad at me, Steve. I don't need the NCAA mad at me, too.
All right. And their reasoning for it would be?
they feel like it's doing a disservice to the players. That's too much wear and tear and too much, stress. I guess everything you're going to say. I mean, just the world we're living in now. It's okay. It's okay.
I got you.
I'll leave it at that.
We won't go any further than that. All right, let's jump into this Utah State game. You guys ended up playing Utah State, and it was a 0-0 tie. But, I mean, this is a Utah State team that, in case people don't know, you hear the word Utah State and you think, okay, well, that's not a Power 5 team. But this is a team that was ranked in the top 10 in the country. This was a team that had gone, and you and I were talking a little bit about this before the show, but then I went and actually looked. Okay, they beat Pepperdine 4-0. They beat Hawaii 3-0. They beat Texas Tech 2-0. They beat Utah 2-0. They beat BYU 2-1. They beat Utah Valley 3-0. They beat Pacific 9-5. I mean, this is a really, really good team that has scored a lot of goals, and you didn't allow anything against Utah State.
Yeah, we changed the game plan against them, and we did everything different that no one has done yet, and it worked, right? And we threw in their face what they're throwing in people's faces, and it went, and Naughty had a heck of a game, and our defense played well, and we had tons of chances. I mean, you're going to talk to Reagan here a little bit. She had a free kick that the keeper made a heck of a save. That game's over. We're winning that thing. We're dancing right out of there. But, it's a great result. We're the only team to shut them down, and it's a big RPI NCAA boost, hopefully for later on.
We had Nadia on with us the last time I was here at Zeppo's with you, and congratulations to her. The senior goalkeeper once again named the West Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Again, we've talked about this on past shows. It's kind of a team award. Nadia certainly deserves her part in it because she's the one that ultimately is the final answer between the pipes. But how about that award for her and that award for your defense for what they were able to do against
Well, it shows
Utah
how
State.
big that result was last week on Thursday. And I don't want to say it's a do or die. We're not in that situation by any way. But that win was going into conference play. I told young ladies, getting a result there, running into conference play is a big boost, right? And it's a big confidence getter. And that saved a lot of things for us, not just on the stat sheet, but mentally. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're tying games, it stinks, right? I mean, winning is hard. We say it all the time. But to have the boost of morale and get on that bus and get on that airplane to fly back and come back that weekend, I thought it was a good thing for us, for our mindset moving forward.
We're just getting things started. I've got so much to get into with the head coach here. We've got, again, Reagan Kotschau. She's going to be joining us up here in just a little bit. She'll be up here in about 10 to 15 minutes or so, and we'll visit with her for a couple of segments. We'll have a little bit more with the head coach to wrap up the show. We're with you until the top of the hour, but we are just getting things started. So happy to have you with us on a Monday, a brand new week of Cougar Athletics. So happy to have you with us here live from Zeppo's. It's your Cougar Coaches Show, and it's with Cougar head coach of soccer, Todd Shulenberger, and we're back after this from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
Well, we are back and we are live from Zeppo's. Again, it is your Cougar Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Women's Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, as again the Cougars coming off of that tie against Utah State, and again a road tie down in Logan. And I mean, when you go up against the top 10 team in the country, and they've got at that time 8 wins, they've added a 9th win to their total. And they've got 34 goals in their 9 wins. That is, if my math is right, a little less than 4 goals per game. And you guys, again, end up keeping them off of the board with the clean sheet. Just what was your defensive game plan going in, and how well did the defense execute that as far as what you guys wanted to accomplish?
Well, the first thing was our game plan was to get the ball on their half of the field. And then how we did that, they have a good defensive plan that they have. So in the surface there isn't great at Utah State, excuse me. So we wanted to go back to front quicker and not have the ball mess around the midfield. They're a good team that likes to counter. So we felt like that ball can go from someone like Reese into our forward line, and play off of that was our plan, to keep the ball there. And then when we lost it, defensively, I've always thought all year we've been a great defensive team. I mean, again, that Georgia game is fool's gold. I mean, Stanford is one of the best teams in the country.
Sure.
And they had a free kick and another goal, right? And we were chasing the game, and that thing was almost 2-2 late. So I've been proud of our defense and our goalkeeping all year. So I don't think it's anything more we did defensively. It's what we tried to do offensively to keep the ball at that half the field.
When you mentioned that they are such a good counterattacking team, how important is your organization when they then go on the counterattack to try and make sure that you guys are good and well organized coming back against the counterattack?
Well, we had to be smart. We told her we're going to attack with 5 and defend with 5. We weren't going to release our outside backs. How much you guys know about soccer, your outside backs get forward a lot. We were not going to do that game. It was going to be stay with 5 with our holding mid 4 and 1, and then attack with 5. And that's what our plan was the whole night.
And it sounds like they kind of executed that game plan?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the announcers even saying, here, the announcers like, no one's done it to them all year and blah, blah, blah. But, it's just a team. Again, I go back to, if we can start finishing here, I'm really proud of how our team defending is going and our goalkeeping. So if we can get that ball in net, I think we can do some things.
When you look at that game, is there anybody obviously it's a team effort when you shut out a team like Utah State. Was there anybody that, when you went back and you looked at the tape and you looked at it and you went, wow, she really had a good game, and I didn't know she had that good of a game? Or did you know that maybe she didn't, and then the tape just confirmed it? Was there anybody that popped out to you?
I think our 2 center backs, Reese and Jenna, for sure. Reese Tappan and Jenna Studer were fantastic at the game, along with Naughty Cooper. They dealt with a lot of pressure from time to time, but it was balls that driven into their head. They had to clear it out. They had to maintain possession. They had to do things to settle the game down, and they were running a lot. And I thought definitely our center backs. Naughty got the award, but both Reese and Jenna had a fantastic game that game.
When you look at what the Cougars have done in the non-conference portion of the schedule, we know what the record is. We know, again, how close we think we are. Just your overall thoughts. I don't want a letter grade. I don't want a rating. Just give me your gut feeling to how you feel non-conference portion of the schedule has gone for Washington State.
Well, I told the girl, I'll give you the letter. I gave him a C+.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to be A+ all the time. And
okay.
C+ because of results. That doesn't necessarily mean their mentality was off or their work rate or the way they tried to get after it. But at the end of the day, it's a result-driven business, so I gave him a C+.
C+. All right. And so then, that being said, with West Coast Conference play coming up, as you mentioned, the front half of the schedule is so loaded, still so much there with the C+ that you can work on to still accomplish the goals that you want to towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and the C+ is probably it's because we didn't have enough goals, right? That's what it comes down to. I mean, everything else, it manages itself out, offense, defense, so you got to give them in between. And there was opportunities to score many, and we didn't. That's okay. And let's hope this thing opens up on starting Saturday.
And I mean, what's so interesting about this sport is that, again, whether it's luck, sometimes it can be that. Sometimes it can be officials. Sometimes it can be just the shot's not going in for you. If you've had one thing, has it been one thing, or has it maybe been some other things that just have not been able to quite get that goal that you wanted to try and finish things off?
Technically we got to do a better job in front of goal. I mean, the ball is there. You've seen the game, Steve, and you've seen the shots. It's shot selection. It's scoring. It's not shooting. It's being able to finish the job under pressure.
Now, again, Washington State with a matchup against Utah State. Again, a big draw for them, and now they get ready for what's going to be a big West Coast Conference action that's going to be coming up. And you get San Diego coming into town on Saturday, and the San Diego team that's going to open up West Coast Conference play. Usually at this point of the season, we're talking about Pac-12 conference play. Now we're getting set for West Coast conference play. Just your thoughts on, and maybe we'll get into it a little bit later on, but just your thoughts on the West Coast Conference of what we've seen so far during their non-conference action and what you've seen out of San Diego so far this season.
They've done a decent job, and any team from California, we said before on the shows before, they're always good teams down there. That's the bread and butter of college soccer as far as recruiting. Outside of Texas, California's got it, and they got every pick they can get down there. So they've done a good job. They're going to pose a different threat to us. Nothing I don't think we haven't seen yet, but it's again us taking care of us and not worrying about them.
All right, again, that's going to be a matchup on Saturday right now scheduled for 7 o'clock. And, again, the Cougars getting set to take on San Diego. Then they'll have a trip down to L.A. where they'll get Pepperdine and LMU. You like the fact that it's just one game this week? Or, again, as we kind of talked about, the schedule is what the schedule is, and you're going to prepare a team what the schedule says you need to prepare your team?
I think the timing's fit. I mean, you can't control the schedule, but after you go east and come back for a day and then you go quickly into another time zone, I think the rest is needed, and I'm excited about these girls get some time off leading into one game.
Absolutely. All right, again, they do get San Diego. Meanwhile, we'll get one of the Cougar stars of this team, one of their captains, and, yeah, well, how about one of their players as far as the West Coast Conference is concerned, Reagan Kotschau. She's going to be joining us here in just a little bit. If she's ready for us. Are you ready for us, Reagan? I think so. We'll do it in 2 minutes. We'll be back after this. It's your Cougar Coaches Show. It's your Cougar Coaches Show with head coach of Cougar Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Need to slow things down just a little bit. And we'll be back after this from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans, can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and, of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota's National Sales Event, there's still time to squeeze more fun out of summer with a new Camry, RAV4, Corolla, and more. So go on, squeeze your extended family into a Highlander for a family reunion.
Everybody in. Tammy, Teddy, Toady, Tommy, Toby, Terry. Wait, where's Rex?
Or stop for some fresh squeezed lemonade in a Prius.
How much?
$15.
Okay, now that's a squeeze.
Inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd.
Good?
Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay, and like this is your volume here, so if it's too loud or too low, you can do whatever you want with that.
You can be a part of it.
And it won't affect what's going out over the air. It's just going to affect what's in your ear.
Basketball and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on.
Yeah.
She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business
Can you hear me?
associate.
Yeah.
You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com.
Did you
That's
hear me,
Krista
Reagan?
with a K, KristaGross.com.
Well, we welcome you back here to Zeppo's. It is your Cougar Coaches Show with Cougar Soccer head coach Todd Shulenberger, and also with us now, Reagan. And I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Is it Kotschau? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Kotschau's good.
Okay, that's good enough. Or is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, again, happy to have her with us. First of all, talk to us a little bit about how you think the season has gone so far, and just how about that matchup against Utah State as you guys went up against the top 10 team, and the way you guys performed in that matchup to hold them to no goals and a clean sheet and get out of there 0-0. Just your thoughts on how you guys are playing at this point in time.
Yeah, at this point, I think we could have done a better job getting more goals early on in the season, maybe secure a better spot in RPI and whatsoever, but our tie against Utah State was really helpful for us, especially because it was on the road, and Utah State being undefeated just really helped us. And the fact that we could keep them shut out considering that no other team has been able to do that, was really helpful, and it was really good for us.
What's kind of your mindset when you go up against, I'm sure it's always up there when you're going up against any opponent, but when you're going up against a team that's ranked in the top 10, is there a little bit of a different mindset? Is there a little bit of a different juice that's flowing inside of you as you get ready to take on a number 7 team in their own building?
Yeah, for sure. I think knowing that they're ranked top 10 really just brings a little bit of a different energy than it would be for a not ranked team. It brings a little more energy, and I think the team just really wants to win it like that much more because it would just look so much better and feel so much better.
You had such a fantastic freshman season. You were named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team. You were part of one of the top 100 freshmen on a bunch of different lists. Just your thoughts when you came here to Pullman and you got your Cougar collegiate career started, just the way that you were able to immerse yourself with this team, with this coaching staff, and just did you have a blast playing last season with the way you came onto the scene as a freshman and performed the way you did?
Yeah, I did. It was really fun. It was obviously really nerve-wracking because I remember my first home opener against Eastern Washington, scoring my first goal. It was just really exciting. After that, I think I just felt more comfortable and that like I belonged here and that I was really excited for the rest of the season. And I obviously had a lot of fun, and I was really looking forward to this year, and I am still looking forward to the rest of the season.
Todd, when you saw Reagan play, what were some of the things that struck out to you as you were recruiting her to come here and play at Washington State University?
She was cool, calm, collective on the ball. I mean, Reagan is she just keeps the ball. She does a good job on her passing. She keeps possession. She's gets 18 to 18-yard box. She can finish. She does free kicks, corner kicks. I mean, she does it all. And she was a complete package. And her club, it was one of the best clubs in America, Real Colorado. One of my closer friends, Lauren Donaldson, who's our club coach, and we were connecting. And probably the first time I saw her was 3 or 4 years ago in Florida. And I walked out of Florida over New Year's. I said, we got to get this kid, and we got it done. And Reagan's been here and done a great job so far. Don't leave me hanging, Reagan. Come on, girl.
Don't worry.
And speaking of playing club, how to play at that level at that young of an age, how important was that for you to kind of immerse yourself into being ready to jump onto the stage of playing big-time soccer at the college level?
Yeah, the level of club, especially with my team, I think was really good and prepared me pretty well for the college level. I got really lucky in club, and I think it set me up pretty well coming into college. Even though it is a completely different game, the jump from club to college is definitely a more physical game, and you have to just be in the right mindset and be able to adapt to the teams you play. And the jump, for me, it wasn't really that big of a transition because I felt like I just fit into the club or the college game very well. But I also enjoyed my time in club also.
Yeah, and for you to come to Washington State University, you've got a pretty heavy background when it comes to soccer as far as your parents and your family. Am I right in that? Talk about the family ties that are with soccer. And your dad even played professionally, correct?
Yeah, he did. Both my parents both played at George Mason University for all 4 years. And then my dad went off and played 10 years in the MLS. And then they obviously had me. And they tried their hardest, like they didn't want to pressure me into playing soccer, but I was obviously surrounded by it from a very young age, like from when I was born. I would go to all my dad's games, like hang out with my mom who also loved soccer. So they tried their hardest not to pressure me into playing it. So I did a bunch of these other sports, but I was just drawn to soccer my whole life, and then it ended up being my favorite.
Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, you speak about some of the other sports that you played. Was there a second favorite? Was there another sport that you also excelled at as you were growing up?
I would say the two sports other than soccer were basketball and softball. But I really liked basketball a lot, but I am 5'5", and that probably wouldn't have gone very far.
You surprised with the softball?
Yeah. I was surprised with the softball, but one little fact, the league that the highest league in America right now for women's soccer is ECNL League.
Right.
And she was National Player of the Year coming into Washington State. She was the best player in America that year at ECNL, and she won that award, which is a big-time deal when she got here. She'll never say it because she's humble or whatever, but I'll keep bragging about her.
Or whatever.
Well, you need to keep bragging about her because that's a big, big time honor. Reagan is joining us. Todd is joining us. Let's take one quick break. Reagan, do you mind hanging out with us for one more segment?
Yeah, of course.
All right, we'll do it. We'll take one more break here from Zuppos. Have Reagan on for us with another segment. Happy to have you with us. Again, it's your Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Women's Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. We'll be back with Reagan as well. We're live from Zuppos, and it's from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
Fall is here, and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp, polished finish, to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services, and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
Well, we do welcome you back again. It is Zuppos, our place where the Blues comes to play and eat. U.S. Bank, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Together, there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, and it is your U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Women's Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Also with us, Reagan Kotschau, who is one of the leaders on this team. Reagan, listed as a midfielder. Have you always been a midfielder? Have you played other positions? Has midfielder been kind of where you just kind of acclimated to? Talk about your different maybe positions in soccer as you were growing up.
I always kind of just like bounced around. Like in club, I would sometimes play like outside midfielder, kind of outside forward. But I think as I got older, I found myself more in the central side of things because I just liked being involved in everything. So I would say around my competitive club years, I really just was drawn to midfield, and it was just my favorite position to play.
What is your favorite thing about the sport of soccer that drew to you? Because you mentioned that you played other sports and that your family, even as much history as you guys have with this sport, what drew you to soccer? I mean, I'm sure part of it was family, but was there another part that the game itself that draws you to this sport?
I just love how it's a player's game. Like, whatever Todd says was probably going to help, but just knowing that I could probably just do whatever I want on the field and be as creative as I want was just really appealing to me, and I just felt a lot of freedom in that.
I mean, it's such it is a beautiful sport because you get that freedom, but at the same time you're working so much with not only on both the offense and the defense, but with the other people on the pitch. I mean, what's it like when it comes to the communication when you guys are, as he mentioned in that Utah State game, following the game plan and doing what it takes to execute, just the communication with your teammates and knowing that you are doing what was drawn up for you guys?
Yes, I think positive communication really helps, especially with our team. Everyone seems to respond really well to like uplifting comments or like encouragement. But then again, like you have to get on them sometimes, but our team really understands the meaning of that and they don't take it in a harsh way. So just communicating and encouraging our team and like staying as a unit is really a good thing for our team.
What was it like for you when you came in as a freshman? Was there somebody that took you under their wing? Was there somebody that you really looked up to last year that just when you came to you, okay, maybe I need some advice after this, or maybe I just need somebody who's like an older sister to me? Was there somebody on this team, or either that has graduated and has moved on, or maybe is still on this team as far as when you came to Pullman?
Yeah, last year I don't know if she felt the same way, but I felt really comfortable going to Reese, who's over there, and then I also felt comfortable talking to Bridget about things, who graduated. But they were the ones that would pull me aside and like tell me it's okay just to be myself, play my game. And then they would also come to me in the hard times and tell me what I need to do better and what I need to do for the team.
As far as now going from freshman to sophomore, does it mean for you that you felt like maybe you needed to take on a little bit more of a leadership role with this team as we go forward?
Yeah, I think I could see myself taking more of a leadership role, even with the incoming freshmen and the other classmates in my class that I have. I just want to be like someone that someone could look up to and be comfortable talking to, and hopefully even next year be that leader people want to be comfortable coming to and see.
We've seen so much of what she brings on the field, Todd. What do you think about off the field when it comes to Reagan that just pops to your mind that this is why she's a Coug, she's a perfect Coug, she is one of the reasons, this is why we went and got her?
Look how nice she is right now.
No,
I mean,
no
she's
kidding.
just calm and collected.
I mean,
I'm all up here buzzing around, ready to go and do all this stuff. And
hyped
up. She's so cool, calm, and collective, and that's what makes Reagan special. And she really is a special kid on and off the field. And off the field, just the teammate, and I watch her engage herself around her family and her sister and her teammates and what she does in the classroom and the community. Just a great, humble kid. And that just shows how wonderful parents she's been raised with. And that's the type of kid we want here in the Palouse.
Yeah, absolutely. What brought you to the Palouse? Obviously, this guy probably had a little bit to do with it. What made you make the decision to come to Pullman to play for Washington State University?
I obviously went on other visits to other schools, but when I took my visit here, I kind of just I know you hear people say they get a feeling that it's right. I actually did get that. And I came on a game weekend, and I caught a shirt at the game, and I just really liked the vibes here, and I liked the campus, I liked the team, and I could just see myself playing on the field during that game.
What's it like playing at lower soccer field, especially when we get that place packed and ready to go, and hopefully it's going to be packed and ready to go for all West Coast Conference play?
Yeah, it's great. Especially, I remember our home opener last year. It was crazy. We had drumline, band, cheer, everything. It was super loud. I could barely hear anything. But the environment down there is really cool. It's a cool atmosphere, and especially that we get our own stadium and stands. It's a privilege to play down there.
All right, a couple of other quick things before we let you go as we get ready now for this second half of the season. We've gone from non-conference play. Now we get ready for West Coast Conference play. How excited are you to get this going in a brand new conference and show what this Cougar team in 2024 is all about?
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially for this Saturday game, kickstarting WCC. Especially non-conference play hasn't really gone exactly our way, but we're ready to bounce back and win our next games that we have upcoming.
Again, the Cougars will be taking on, again, a team in San Diego. That matchup is going to be taking place on Saturday. Then they take the trip down to L.A. They'll be in Malibu to take on Pepperdine, also Loyola Marymount. As you look at the next few weeks on the schedule, just your thoughts on as you prepare and you get ready, just the mentality of this team, it's ready to go?
Yeah, it's ready to go, and I think the fact that we've been playing such good teams preseason and we've been able to hang with them and show that we can compete just really puts our team in a good mindset, showing that we can still compete with the teams that we have upcoming.
Last thing I got for you, I want to go back to, again, kind of as you were kind of growing up. You had a chance, was this either during the pandemic or right after the pandemic? Were you virtually training with the national team? Is that right? And talk a little bit about that, or no, or I got that wrong?
It was it was just like a thing I could have been called up to. I kind of forgot what it was.
17s, right?
Huh?
Was 17?
Yeah, 17's World Cup, but it was
Yeah.
like a COVID thing last minute, and I wasn't able to go.
Okay. In any case, and I'm sure you've got aspirations of playing kind of like your dad did at the next level. Is that right?
Yes, for sure. My goal is to play pro at some point, whether it's finish out college after college or like going online, maybe finishing college a year early. Whatever the plan. I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing where it takes me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Reagan
thank you.
Kotschau, everybody. Let's give her a hand. One of the leaders on this WSU team. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back with Todd Shulenberger, talk a little bit more as we continue on in the back half of this 6 o'clock hour. It's your Cougar Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger, also Reagan joining us. And it's all here from Zeppo's, live from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State. Partners in excellence.
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
We welcome you back to Zeppo's. Again, it is your U.S. Bank Coaches Show, and with me again tonight is the head coach of Washington State University women's soccer, Todd Shulenberger. As again, we just got done talking to Reagan, and whether it's been Reagan, whether it's been Nadia, we've had Reese on. I mean, these players that you bring up here, Coach, just so talented on the field, but so easy to talk to, so calm, cool, and collected, as you mentioned, and just such neat young ladies that you have in this program.
Yeah, we got to value who we recruit here and what we're looking for as our program, and not just in the university, but the community we put together, these young ladies, and it's fun to see. I really enjoy watching them growing up. You know, Reagan's new to this. Reese has been a part of this. We watched Nadia up here, everything Nadia's gone through, what she's gone through in her life. So it's really neat to watch these kids grow up and have a big impact on this.
When you see your players go from when you meet them for the first time as like teenagers, and I mean, obviously they're not much above teenagers by the time they graduate here, but a few years older than that, just to see that growth process of meeting them, recruiting them, coming here, going on to graduate from here, being a part of the legacy that is Washington State University women's soccer, and then doing what they do after they leave here. Just how rewarding is that for you as a head coach?
It's really rewarding, man. Ella Dietrich called me a couple weeks ago. I mean, she has all the records right now. Nadia's getting close to that.
Yeah,
but
she is.
She just called for some advice on getting a new job, and she's done playing soccer. And just wanted my opinion on what I thought of her in the business world, right? So those things are important. And a lot of these kids, just like have your own kids, they don't really get that till they're out. And it's fun to see them come back and ask and absorb more.
Again, we're getting set for the start of West Coast Conference play. Again, it's different. I don't know if it's just different is I think the best word to put it compared to years past. But do you attack it any differently, or is it just these are the opponents? We will game plan for anything different. I mean, you're trying to go out and win a conference, right? And try and improve your resume just in case you don't win a conference to be an at-large team. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right?
First of all, soccer's different, right? So I don't think there's anything different we're preparing for these teams. I mean, soccer's a tricky sport, and how you win these games and we talk about the ties. So everybody we got, this conference is great. They've done more in this conference from a national championship than, as I said before, than the SEC has done, all right, and also the Big 12. So it's a challenge for sure, and it's going to start on Saturday.
When you look at the teams in this conference and you see all these teams from California, who obviously, as you mentioned, it's easy to recruit in California because, again, a sport that soccer is pretty big in California, and it's nice weather and all the other advantages that you get of being in California. And you get ready to go up against these schools, and then you see that the fact that it's starting this Saturday for you, just, again, I'm trying to find the way to phrase this. Even though it's different, is it something is almost fresh? Does it seem fresh? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have taken the old, but we don't get the old. We get the new, so it is something fresh, right?
It's something new. I mean, it's new. It's a new experience for us and a new challenge, we'll call it, right? And like I said, I mean, all these teams are well prepared to get ready to play. So what's fresh and what's a challenge is a different conference. So we'll embrace that, and we'll conquer it one game at a time.
Do you want to talk much about San Diego? I mean, again, they're the team that's coming in on Saturday, a team that's so far this season. Again, it's hard to tell with non-conference, but 2-4-3 coming in. They have won their last two matches, so they're coming in a little bit hot. Do you know much about San Diego? I don't want necessarily a scouting report, but just your thoughts on San Diego coming into town.
I mean, San Diego, they're going to be a good team. They're going to possess the ball. They're going to have a style that they do down there. They get to train in great weather. It's probably one of my favorite cities. I'm not going to lie. I love San Diego. I mean, who doesn't? Right. And so they get everything they want down there, and they get the warm weather. They get the sun every day. But they're going to try to keep the ball. That's what California teams do. They're going to try to outpossess us to try to win this game.
How do you think you've done as far as possession? And I don't know what the numbers necessarily. I haven't gone into the statistics that close to see what the possession numbers are this season. How do you feel you've done in that category, whether the numbers prove that to be or just with who you're playing and the way you feel? How do you think you've been as far as possession of the ball?
We've done more, but we've gotten less from the results, and that's one thing that doesn't sit well with me. You look at the Utah State game, and we probably outpossessed them, but at the end of the day, the way we played was way different. It was almost like an old Cougar day when Morgan Weaver was here, how we played, and that's something we're going to continue to look at because at the end of the day, results matter. I don't care how good we look on the ball needs to go in the net. And this challenge for them wasn't just because we haven't put the ball in that. It was because nobody's done that against Utah State, so we had to be different, which is a little Cougar-esque. We had to punch them in the face. We had to foul them more. I had to get another yellow card. We had to do all these different things like that and fight like you know what, and it works. So we're going to continue to evaluate that as we move forward.
As far as trying to put the ball in the back of the net, is there anything for you that you think that there's some wrinkles that can be put in to try and help your team do that over the course of the next few weeks going down the stretch?
It's how we manage the ball in the final third and how we keep it. And it doesn't have to be forced to rush. Can we play wide? Can we penetrate more? Can we beat them on the dribble? Can we play the way we're faced? There's so many soccer cliches that we can do better when we get down there because our build-up is good. Now when we get down there, we got to keep it and make it worthwhile.
How do you think your set pieces have gone so far this season as far as 2024 is
Well,
concerned?
last time we talked, we had, we talked about all the set pieces we didn't score against Stanford, right? And it's been better, right? It's been better. But, set pieces, everybody thinks just because you got a corner kick, you're going to score. I mean, you got great goalkeepers. You got great people that can head the ball and clear the ball, and they fight like you know what in there. So that becomes a little bit trick to the trade, how we're going to manage that, but we've done better for sure.
All right. Again, Washington State taking on San Diego. Again, we're into West Coast Conference play. Just to let you know, if you want to keep track of things after the trip to L.A., the Cougars will be home the following week, Wednesday and Saturday against St. Mary's in Portland. So, again, 3 of the first 5 at home, and it does include this Saturday as they get ready to take on San Diego. It is your Cougar Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger. You can earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com, and we'll have more with the Cougar head coach when we return to Zeppo's. It's their Cougar Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, and we're back after this from Pullman, live from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S.
Coors
Bank.
Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Well, we do welcome you back here again at Zeppo's, our location where the Blues comes to play and eat, and it is your U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show. And again with us, the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, as we talk soccer here Monday nights. And we invite you to join us here from 6 until 7, and of course right here on News Talk for the Blues as well. You can also catch us at WSUCougars.com, and you can go back and watch that show if you want to on replay when it becomes available. So again, it's been a lot of fun to be able to do this all season long with the Cougar head coach. Don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but your coaching staff was talking to you about getting booked with the yellow card. I was actually watching a Premier League match, and Arsenal was taking on Manchester City, and there was a teenager that was called up for Arsenal, and he actually got booked before he actually made his debut because he was on the bench. And so that might be a trivia question. Do you take those as badges of honor sometimes? Do you get frustrated? What's it like? I mean, depending on how the win and the loss goes. I mean, and again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on this, and I don't want you to get in any trouble, which I don't think you will, but just your thoughts on
Well, here's the first thing. When I get carded, the first person that texts is my mom. The second person that texts is my daughter, who's in college, okay? And they're both trying to figure out what dad's doing wrong or what his son's doing wrong. So what I found out, and here's the different rule. Here's a challenge here, and Matt's laughing, but he's been carded twice already too. So it's Scott's Mr. Innocent, but you know he's the guy getting us all riled up. So let's not play around with that. Let's call a spade here. But now here's the deal. What they told me, it's the hand gestures that I'm making. It's not anything I said. I told my mom that too. It's not anything I said, Mom. It's the hand gestures. You're not supposed to do this anymore. I don't know why that is. It's the new rule. So every time I do this to go to the look at it or I jump up. That's why I got carded. I have not said anything wrong yet for the record.
So no magic words. It has to do with hand gestures?
Yes, so now I'm going to tie my hands down right the next game, and I'm going to bark, and I'm not going to move my hands moving forward. So, yeah.
All right. Again, the Cougars getting set to take on San Diego coming up at 7 o'clock again Saturday night, as they will be battling San Diego. Then they make the trip down to L.A. to take on Pepperdine and LMU. Again, West Coast Conference play just about ready to begin. As you take a look at your team, Coach, and you see where you've progressed to this point, give me maybe a list of probably finishing would be at the top of the list. What would be your top 3 goals heading into West Coast Conference play as far as what you want to see this team do as we move forward over the course of the next couple of months?
I mean, obviously, I think if we could finish, that's one big one for us. I think number 2, if we can tackle and win the ball. I mean, we tackle, but we're not winning the ball when we tackle, right? There's a difference between, tackling and winning it and now keeping it. Okay, and the third piece is obviously going to be the set pieces. Let's be a clean sheet on defensively, and let's make sure we capitalize offensively.
You said at the start of the show or in the middle of the show when I asked you and you were honest with me, you said you gave your team a C+. Where would you grade your defense as far as the first half of the season in non-conference action?
I'd give them a B, right? I'm a pretty hard grader.
Okay.
But I'd give them a B because, at the end of the day, we've only had, 1 or 2 shutouts, I believe. I don't know how many we had. Maybe 1, right, guys? 2. We had 2 shutouts. So, that's where I'm at in Georgia Southern. No disrespect to them, great program, but there's other ones we could have done more. Yep. So I'm going to give them a B, but that definitely they're carrying us right now for sure.
Okay. When it comes to your offense and your strikers, anybody that you're looking at as far as maybe taking that next step forward over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Grayson, let's go. I mean, she's a senior. She's a captain. She's a big part of this charge that we're looking for moving forward, and she can lead by example, and once she gets one, I think things will open up for her and everybody else around it.
As you look at the results that have happened, I think sometimes we get stuck, but I don't think that's the case in this one, of the ones that you could have had compared to the ones that maybe you couldn't have had. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody has close games, and a lot of coaches, a lot of fans, they go, well, we could have had that one. Well, we could have had that one. We could have had that one. And they forget about the ones that maybe you couldn't have had. But when you look at it, and again, you take a look at the Purdue game, I agree with you. I watched that thing from start to finish. You guys could have had that game.
Yep.
Same thing when it comes, and you mentioned the Stanford and Georgia's 2 really good teams right there into it till the end. Certainly Utah State. I mean, again, just it feels like there was this and once the dam breaks, then we're off to the races. Do you get that feeling?
I do. I'll take the Stanford loss and the Georgia loss. That's about it, and that includes the ties. I'm not satisfied with it, and I'm not happy with the other things there. And let's get this thing going. But that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. All right. We'll take one last break, then we'll come back and wrap things up here from Zeppo. So happy to have you with us here on a Monday night. It's your Cougar Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger and me, Steve Grubbs. It is great to be with you from Zeppo's for your Cougar Coaches Show. It's where the Palouse comes to play and eat, and it's from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Bro, you go hard for the WSU Cougs.
What do you mean?
You're literally wearing a Coug jersey that you bought from the Coug store with your Coug debit card. And you don't stop talking about how every time you use your card, GISA donates to the Cougar Athletic Fund.
I guess I do go pretty hard for my Cougs.
If you go hard for your Cougs, get your WSU card today at GISA.com. Go Cougs!
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU Coaches Shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
Well, we welcome you back again. Final time with you on the evening. And this is your Cougar Coaches Show, and it is with me, Steve Grubbs, and also the coach of Washington State University Women's Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Your Cougar Coaches Show and Cougar Athletics brought to you in part by Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment, choose chill, celebrate responsibly. Well, as we take a look at West Coast Conference action, the Cougars ready to begin things up here against San Diego. And as you look at what the teams have done so far non-conference-wise in the West Coast Conference, I mean, anybody stand out to you as you kind of take a look at the conference standings as far as anybody that maybe has surprised you a little bit, anybody that's maybe been the opposite way that you thought might be having a little bit better of a non-conference that hasn't had quite the results that you were expecting so far?
Yeah, I think LMU has bine firing out of the gate, and that's a great second weekend game. Again, we got to take care weekend one at San Diego, but then you go down to two teams. Pepperdine is the top 15 RPI, and then LMU's in the top 60 right now, I believe, too. So I would say LMU has done a great job. I mean, Portland's always a dagger, tough, and Gonzaga is, and you know, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, conference plays is a different level, and when you get into conference, the playing field becomes a little bit more even.
We've talked about protecting home pitch, so that's obviously what makes Saturday so important, to get a result and a result in the positive fashion as far as a win is concerned against San Diego. That second weekend of conference play when you guys are in Malibu and Loyola Marymount, I mean, there is a really an opportunity here for you with these first 2 weeks of conference play to really springboard into this conference, elevate yourself into the conversation of not only being a member that could win the West Coast Conference or in the running to win the West Coast Conference, but also be in that at-large pool. I mean, these first 2 weeks are really important over these next couple of weeks.
They are, and getting out of the gate in conference play is important. Number one, we don't have a conference tournament. Number two, you just want to come out and set the tone. Last year, if you can remember, we drew first game was Stanford, lost by a goal. Next game was USC. And I mean, we had the gauntlet, the first 3 games, and that is tough to do. And we lost all of them by 1 point. All right, one goal by each game. So now you're 0-3 going into something. That's the demeanor, the morale of the whole team. You got to get better than that. So coming out firing this weekend, starting it off, and then taking it will be a big deal.
All right, take us through where you're sitting now. As today is Monday, you kind of was today an off day for you guys, or I mean, you didn't play since last Thursday. Kind of how we prepare as we get ready for the upcoming game on Saturday.
The girls had a lift today, and I told the staff, let's we don't play till Saturday, so get your personal life together, get your professional life together, and let's be ready to go Wednesday morning when I see you again. Let's make this thing ready, because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are big. Saturday game, let's go.
All right, last couple of quick things I got for a couple of quick hitters. You surprised by your Steelers? 3-0?
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay,
what are your Chiefs right now? Are they 3-0 too?
They're 3-0 as
okay,
well,
that's all right. But this is Steeler country, so you're surprised, but I'm not.
Okay, you're not. You thought they'd be 3-0 at this stage.
I was worried about it, but we got the best defense in the NFL, so we can't. You got the best offense, we got the best defense.
Okay, all right. And then since we last talked, starting to see where we're going down the road. Your thoughts on where we're going with conference, and just again what we're doing as a university. We're getting a little more clarity for that, and I'm sure that's good as a head coach. Yes,
it is. I mean, what we do tomorrow may not what's happening in 10 days from now. As you know, conference realignment,
right.
It's just every day it's a coin toss what's going to happen. So you get some clarity. It helps with recruiting. It helps the mindset, helps you lay down at night to know that there's something there. As far as that, we just don't know where this is going to continue to go.
Right. Again, what we know is that we've got a big-time matchup on Saturday. We've got San Diego. We've got a big matchup the next weekend after that. You and we're back here next Monday. Is that the plan?
I believe. We'll talk to the boss, Bill Stevens. He's nodding at us, so I think so, yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll make plans to join everybody. Again, it's been a lot of fun to be here. He is the boss, isn't he?
Yes, he likes to play the down card, but that's Bill.
No, that is Bill. All right.
Yeah.
Again, happy to have had you with us. Again, missed you for a couple weeks. Good to be back with you.
Good back, Steve. Thanks for joining us, and, we'll see you again next Monday.
All right.
We'll see you Saturday, right, Steve?
I'll be there Saturday.
Right,
absolutely. All right. We get ready for San Diego coming to town as they'll be at Lower Soccer Field. We want you to join them as we open up West Coast Conference play, and then again back here a week from today as we get ready for another Cougar Coaches Show. Thanks to everybody along the way, the staff here at Zeppos for all of their help. Of course, Reagan for her great job on the show with us. The head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Schulenberger. The 3 J's, Johnny. Also, We've got Jared, Jerry. They keep the show running. And our final thank you always to you, our listeners and our viewers. We thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Again, it's been your Cougar Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. We'll talk to you again next week. It's been your Cougar Coaches Show from Learfield.
You've been listening to the Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger.